Hello. Metroximus, I remember in Spyrobot. We would still have it if the bloody creators didn't hit us with a copyright strike on their music, which I thought was bloody copyright free, but apparently not. Yeah, how you doing? I didn't really have much of a big lineup this week. I went looking yesterday for YouTube content. Sorrel's not allowed in a blister anymore. That's... If we can't trust you in a blister, how are we able to trust you in anything else? It's what happens when you get stuck in the back of a ship as boarding team all the time. Yes, Metroximus, actually I was watching Ollie's video. I watched, I think I got about 3/4 of the way through. Before it felt like it started to loop in on itself again. But yeah, he it's kind of understandable. Like I started looking at his channel to see, you know, what the majority of his content focus was. And it just looks like he's just been pure Star Citizen for nearly the last 12 months. And, you know, like, it's kind of hard to stay on top of Star Citizen at the moment. Like for us, even with the piracy content, like we've got more targets than we know what to do with now, which is great. The problem that we have is like the hits are all pretty much look the same. Porto going away. Didn't we talk about it last stream? I'm sure we did. It was within the first hour when we were talking, when we watched IC. Any update on Dobbs? He's on a break. He's not going to be back for a while. He'll be back when he is back. Am I feeling better this week? Yeah, just a residual tickle in the back of my throat, but nothing I can't, you know, nothing that I can't deal with. Notorious just started Piracy and I see why you do it. Yeah. Like when you first start doing Piracy, it just takes one good hit, man. It's like a drug. One good hit and you're hooked. I see the Skunkworks Piracy hit. I was actually considering watching it on stream until I saw that it was like 25 minutes and I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit there and react to it. Bring back EMP? Oh man. They need to change the way that Distortion works for EMP to be viable again. That's the problem. That's a real problem that we got. Because there was a time like, you know, EMP would have been able to do it. Watch it at 2 times. I feel like I'm cheating out the creator when I do that. We'll see how we're going for time. Skunkworks is kind of staged. I wouldn't say that they're staged. I'd say that they do simulated exercises. That's the understanding that I have of how they do that content. Yeah, Metroximus, like, with what's going on with Ollie, like, he kind of just needs to give Star Citizen a rest for a while. It's one of those situations where it's like, I can understand where he's coming from, especially considering, like, the type of content creator that he is. He's very broad. Like, he's trying to capture as large of an audience. And the thing about it is that trying to engage that large audience there, just, it's a lot harder, because unless you're doing flavor of the month shit all the time, you're not going to be able to keep the majority of the Star Citizen community interested. Never thought you'd see level cap get into Star Citizen. He's been dabbling every now and again, but he also branches a lot further out with the games. Telva, no, we're just doing the stream start. We shooting the shit. Seen him raise the black. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he'd actually... I think he did a bit of piracy, didn't he? I think he's got a video on his channel about piracy. He might not have. I could kind of see though, like if you go back through his library of videos, you could kind of see that he was starting to struggle a bit with just content ideas. Well, sorry, there's nothing really yet. Like Starfield has promised that you could do a a lot of things in Starfield that isn't ready in Star Citizen yet. And I think that, to be honest, for Ollie, I think he kind of just needs to hang out long enough for Starfield to come out. An Ollie Void collab would be fun. Yeah. I think just anybody rolling with Void Dude would just be fucking hilarious. Yeah, sorry, that's the thing about Starfield. Like, I'm still hesitant on whether or not I'm going to play it. Not because I'm a Star Citizen fanboy or, you know, trying to be loyal as Star Citizen. It's just that the way I see that game is that I could put a lot of hours into it and I'd just neglect Star Citizen. That's not a great position for an org leader to be in. So, you know, I kind of have to... I'm almost locked into Star Citizen because of the position that I'm in. But at the same time, it's one of those situations, sorry, where I need to, like, you know, I do need to try and temper expectations. Void's head didn't match his voice when you saw him on the Astropub? Mate. Actually, yeah, he was on the Astropub, wasn't he? I don't think he talked much there. There's no salt to be had in Starfield. I don't know. Maybe Bethesda programmed something. Like, I want to play Starfield purely just to see how it compares to Star Citizen. And I know, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't be comparing the two. It's like, look, they're gonna have there's going to be things in Starfield that we're going to be able to pull from it and go, all right, Star Citizen should take inspiration from this. Star Citizen should take inspiration from that. You know, like, why don't we have this thing here? You know, it would be great if we had this. And maybe if the COG developers start seeing things in Starfield that, you know, improve the quality of life, but they determine that doesn't actually require as much effort to implement, then we may actually see, you know, better things come into Star Citizen because of it. Yeah, I don't see Starfield killing Star Citizen. Like, what we'll probably see is, like, all the fucking Space Dad solo players going over to Starfield, and then when they want to play Star Citizen complaining that they don't have their PvE only experience. Did a sick Darth Sidious impression. See, if you're gonna get Ollie to do Piracy, like, you would have to have him do ransom and extortion based Piracy, and then make him do the Darth Sidious, you know, contacting over comms. Just be fucking hilarious. See how Starfield compares to Fallout 4 and Skyrim? Yeah, I'll be curious if they actually do ladders. You guys know about ladders for, what was it? I think it was Oblivion. They couldn't get the ladder animations to work correctly, so they just teleport you. That's why ladders, when you go up ladders in houses and buildings and things like that, how it's a cutscene. Was it Oblivion? Maybe it was Morrowind. So I remember that was a thing in Morrowind as well. So Carter, I'd be disappointed if they didn't have an achievement associated with naming your ship Dogmeat, or a pet. If you could get pets in that game, you know, name it Dogmeat and you get unlock an achievement. So I think that's probably the funnier part, is like trying to coach Ollie through doing Piracy and coaching him through the negotiation process, and like trying to be in his face and aggressive about it while he's there trying to, you know, like do it the way that Ollie would. I think, Dome, when it comes to the breaching mechanic, I think it'll be once the ships are docked, the breaching part would be like pushing through the docking collar. And Darius, the reason why cargo haulers don't use turret gunners and escorts is they don't feel the need to use them. See, for us, when we're doing Piracy, like, you know, on a good day we'll be pirating 3 to 4 targets in, you know, a 3 to 4 hour session. That said though, those 3 to 4 haulers, we're probably the first pirates that they've ever encountered. Ever. And they may have been playing the game for 12 months. That's kind of one of the problems in this game at the moment, is that we're all in separate fish bowls, so the danger that Piracy presents doesn't exist in the eyes of the majority of the player base. And for players to, you know, like prepare for that, they can do it. They can hire escorts, they can have turret gunners, they can do 100 cargo runs and never see another pirate. Never see a pirate. And then it'll be the one run that they do where they don't have cargo, you know, they don't have escorts and turret gunners, and bam, you show up. Physical damage wouldn't be needed for somewhat boarding, yeah. We kind of want it though. That way ships survive. You know, crashes and things like that. It'd be needed, yeah, kind of. Like, it really comes down to the doors. Like, we can do boarding actions now. But if you wanted to do, like, door breaches and things like that, then yeah, the doors have to change. Which CIG is aware of, they're talked about in the past, and they're just more or less... It's on the list. They just got to get around to it. Yeah, redacted, like, that's the thing. 30Ks have been more of a danger to haulers than pirates have. It's only become a recent thing that pirates are probably starting to catch up, but that's because 30Ks are less frequent than in the past. And then there's also 30K protection. Question, T-Jack. There's 3 there. Alright, I'm going to answer these questions and then we're going to go into the first bit of content. Do I think the consequences of piracy are just? To who? That's my first question there. Who are they? You know, the consequences of piracy are just to who? Would you say it kind of feels like a wet slap on the wrist? In comparison to what? In comparison to what criminal charge in this game? Does it feel like a challenge to you or simply free game? It depends on the target. So, the problem with consequences, and it's not related only to piracy, it's related to everything in the game. Consequences in this game is a wet slap on the wrist for everything. Okay, you lose your ship, just pay a couple of thousand credits, you get it back. You die, you wake up in a medbed. You may lose the gear that you got on you, but you can earn so many credits so quickly. You can loot gear. You can keep the gear that you looted off of NPCs and other players, and you won't get in trouble for law enforcement. Like, people, when people bring up the consequences of piracy, I always turn it back on them and I'm like, what about the rest of the game where you can do things that if you did it in real life, you would get in trouble? If somebody breaks into your house and you beat the shit out of them and you take their stuff and then you kick them out, you don't get to keep their stuff. That stuff is evidence. And if the police find out that you did that, they will arrest you for stealing. Because you took somebody else's property. It does not belong to you. So when you go around, you know, looting NPCs and looting other players of their gear, you're stealing. Just because it's from an NPC doesn't change the fact that, you know, the law is less. You're still stealing. Yeah. Who hasn't gone to an outpost and just looted every box? You don't own that. None of that there belongs to you. You didn't pay for it. You're taking somebody else's stuff. You're stealing. So when people sit there and they turn around and they go, oh, but, you know, pirates are taking stuff from other players, they're not upset about the consequences that, you know, like piracy exists and, you know, they're doing something that's stealing. They're upset that they lost to another player. Would you say logging out once you got sent to prison is kind of similar to traders who use Alt F4 out when they were pirated? No, because once you get sent to prison, you're in there for the time period that you're there for, whereas when you Alt F4 out of a piracy encounter, you can wake back up at your last port of call or a medical bed and then continue on playing the game. You can reclaim your ship, go fly it on a different server and do it all over again, whereas logging out when you get to prison, it's like, well, you can either play the prison gameplay loop or you can wait the time out. That is it. So I don't see that as the same. Now, the challenge of piracy, as I said before, comes from other players. Like, piracy is not a one-sided thing. Currently it is a two-person interaction. You've got the pirates and then you got the target. How that target responds depends on how difficult the encounter can actually be. When people fight back, you've got a higher chance that you could win the encounter. Pirates know this, so they prepare accordingly. This is why people, you know, who do piracy, a lot of them, especially when they're starting out, why they're so confused as to why those who are getting pirated aren't as prepared as those who are doing the pirating. And it's because those who, are getting pirated don't feel the need to prepare as much because of the infrequency of piracy attacks on them. If they were getting pirated every single time that they tried doing a cargo run, they'll do one or two things. They would prepare accordingly with turrets and turret gunners and escorts, or they would find something else to do. But for those who really do want to do cargo hauling and who are willing to fight back, they still won't prepare accordingly because of infrequency of piracy attacks means that they will waste more time trying to fight back. Now, we want to encourage people to fight back because it's about gameplay. Right now, the credits don't fucking matter. Like, they could get wiped next patch and everybody's just sitting there, all the people will complain. It'll be like, alright, well, you either stop playing Star Citizen and you put your nose back to the grind wheel and get back to work and make those credits, make the numbers go big. At the end of the day, the focus of anybody who's playing a video game really should be the experience that you are looking for. Now, it's not a great experience for cargo haulers who don't prepare for a piracy attack and then they get attacked by pirates, especially if they're running around in a sperm suit with no weapon, because they're not ready to fight back. They don't have the equipment, they don't have anything like that to be able to participate as effectively in the encounter as what they could. But that's on them. That's not the pirate's fault. We don't know who we're going to hit until we actually find them. A lot of the time, hits aren't targeted. It's very rare to do a targeted hit on someone because of how hard it is to find people. Normally you need a way of getting into a server that a specific person is on. So, like, the challenge of piracy really comes down at the moment to players. CIG does need to implement better mechanics to support players from a security perspective, like, a panic 911 type button or something like that, where you can just call up security. They will come, they'll charge you a fee for doing it, but they'll respond. And it will be AI, so they'll be shit, but it'll be something. Pirates will need to make sure that they'll have to prepare accordingly, if they just, the target hits the panic button. Well, that's the thing, Jack. Piracy is going to get harder in a place like Stanton when we see Pyro become a thing and server meshing actually starts being implemented. Like right now, the AI, part of the reason why the AI is, a non-threat is because servers are running at like 5 frames a second, so the AI just can't keep up with us. So we just stomp them. But when you go into servers where the AI is running at 30 frames per second, they actually do hit hard. And they're quite accurate, and they pull maneuvers off that players just can't do. And you actually have to treat them like a genuine threat, because if you don't, you get bloody mauled. The music's making it hard to follow me? Probably because I'm not listening to it. Yeah. Weird music in the background? I need to listen. You guys are probably going to get a double echo when I do this. You might. Okay. Yeah. That's alright. It's just a loop that I'm not listening to. Alright. Yeah, like, Star Citizen is a game where you're going to need a lot of time at the moment. I don't think, until CIG's develop more of the game, I don't even think they're aware of how much time things is going to take. Hopefully when we see the Weird music stop, it's normal music now. Okay. I'll need to listen to the stream to understand what you guys are on about. Anyway. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to move on to the first bit of content. But before we do that, I need to quickly go check my front door because I think somebody just pulled up in my driveway. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. No, nobody's pulled up in my driveway. Right. So we're going to be looking at the first bit of content. Bounce over to here. So this is from Level Cap, and he's changed the name, he's changed the title of the video. Alright. Yesterday, when I first found this video, it was how to be a pirate. It is now changed to, it feels good to be bad. Probably wasn't doing as well as what he was hoping, which is why he changed it. So, let's get Level Cap's take on why it feels good to be bad.
Oh, I got missiles coming in at me?
Oh, yeah, I see. Geez. Yeah, me and you. Okay. So
give me a sec. That would probably explain it. I have to turn it down in my headset as well. I may actually have to turn it down. I'm going to start playing and see how we go.
So Alien's engaging you. That's a lot of missiles.
Oh
Flare,
my
flare,
God.
flare, flare, dude. Come on, there. Oh, easy. There we go. Okay, get ready for boarding. Oh, he's engaging.
Bye-bye.
He's down.
Dude, look at all this cheddar. That's got to be like, what, a couple million gold at least? Piracy is alive and well in Star Citizen. As predicted, the persistent entity streaming update for the game that allows cargo to persist after ships die has led a lot of players to figure out that they can actually steal their wealth from others rather than grinding that mission ladder. And frankly, it's awesome. I teamed up with Avenger 1 and his crew to learn the basics of piracy, from tracking targets at trade routes, disabling ships from engaging quantum drives, boarding ships, and of course, stripping them of their valuable cargo. It feels like one of the most exciting aspects of Star Citizen has finally come alive with the foundations of an economic reward for doing bad things. Today, I'm going to take you along on several piracy operations. The basics of this was scanning player ships for gold that they would buy at trade terminals, set up quantum snares in orbit, and ambush them as they tried to leave the planet. All of them were given opportunities to minimize their losses if they cooperated, but none of them did. Some even had armed escorts. Check it out.
You're landed. So
Yeah.
what you should be doing, the SOP is, we found what works the best, is land, get out of your ship, but stay on board the ship, right? And just use your eyes to see stuff coming in and out. So right now you've got a C2 landed, right? So potential target. But we don't know if it's doing anything that we care about, so we have to get verification. So wait for the person in the C2 to get out and run over, or somebody from that ship to get out and run over to the console area, which is the little orange building that he can buy gold from. Try to move your ship as the least amount possible. Point your nose towards it, scan it, and verify if it's got gold. If it has gold, now we've got a target. Now guys are going to log on and we're going to catch him.
Where cargo? Ooh, gold 23 SC. Oh, 231 SCU.
Okay, good. So that's the target. So what's going to happen right now is we're going to log onto your.
It's got old mate's weapons listed out as visible. A salvo frag pistol, Kana by 4, an FS9 by 4. a grenade launcher by 4, a pistol by 3, and a AO3 sniper rifle. What the fuck? Never seen that information show up in that part. Weapons. So this guy's also been duping. Okay. I wonder if they grabbed it. I wonder if they grabbed this stuff.
Server. So you need to keep eyes on him and get out of your seat and just play it cool.
Okay. Okay, he's aiming up now. The C2's aiming up. He's probably
directly up.
Yep, he's probably gonna burn in a second.
Just leave, like just totally leave the area.
Okay. We're gonna be able to track him still?
Yep. Yeah, I got him at 20k here. He's not going anywhere.
So if you have him targeted, doesn't he know that someone's targeting him?
I'm not targeting him. I just have him tagged.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm not targeting him. I just have him tagged. All right. Fucking piracy lesson. See that radar lock fucking on the annunciator panel? See how it's red? That means that you're being target locked. When it's yellow, it means you've been pinned. All right. So if you see that as yellow, somebody has tagged you or pinned you. Now, most players actually don't know that. Those who do fucking cargo hauling on the regular do. But he said it. Yeah, I know, because it's Avenger 1, and he's the best pirate in the game, right? Fucking... Like, part of the reason why level cap's in a Cutlass Red, which doesn't make much sense, right? Well, it does from a piracy perspective, because he's the scout. You can, it's a known pirate tactic if you've got enough people. Use a non-threatening ship to act as your scout and have them push as close to the target as possible. They just sit there, scan the target, look at it, yep, okay, cool, I'm waiting my turn, blah, blah, blah. And then, when they see the target take off, they just put a call out, hey, such and such is taking off with X amount of, cargo on board. And yes, a tag is more suspicious than a target lock because it means that whoever's just tagged you is monitoring more than just you. Like, yeah, there's lots of little things that people don't know about Star Citizen, and like, as a pirate, you will learn about a lot of it. Because you need to. Like, here's another one. Suppress IR, don't ever press that button, it does nothing. A pirate should know this, yes. Well, this is what happens when you ask tourists to show you how to do things instead of those who do it. Alright, let's keep watching.
So he doesn't see, like, he has no radar lock or nothing.
Okay.
I'm just passively targeting him essentially by tagging him, because then I get the name and I get distance. He's committed, like he is committed. That's why I'm saying I kind of chuckle, because it's like he's got.
Oh, he's taking off. He's taking off.
Okay, I'm gonna hold in position. Wait
he's
for
beaming upward. Beaming upward. Straight
let's go.
Up.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm gonna call him now. All right, buddy, bring your ship to a complete stop when you're outside in space. All right. All right, man, come to a complete stop. Drop your shields and open your doors. Okay. If you work with us, you'll get through this and you'll have most of your cargo, probably. But we'll see what you do here. He's retro burning, so he's coming to a stop.
We need DPS in case.
Don't you fucking dare.
He's trying to go down.
Okay, engage.
Okay.
Engage.
Right.
Engage, engage, engage. You always give people a chance, right? I don't know, this guy, I don't understand why these people don't just, accept the terms. I mean, he's been caught, so he's choosing to lose everything now.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to comply. Pretty sure this one's going to just do it runner. Think about this, like, with what he just said, I don't understand why. Like, once again, this is one of those things where if you've been pirating for more than 5 minutes, you know You know why? They don't want to. It doesn't matter. The credits don't matter. The credits have never mattered in this fucking game. We're still in the alpha stage of Star Citizen. The credits really do not matter. Unless you're going for like a specific ship or something like that, the credits really don't matter. Oh mate, he may be trying to save up credits. That's why he's trying to, you know, build up. Buying gold, tick trading gold. Because that's the only reason why you'd be able to fill that ship up as much as he did with the amount of gold that they had. But, you know, like, they would rather not pay. They would rather cause you as much pain as possible. Because they've already lost. They know that they've lost, so for them, it's about trying to get you to lose as much as possible as well now. They've accepted that they've lost the encounter, and they're going to do whatever they can to, you know, force you into a position where you lose as well. Now, it's possible that this target may try and burn down to go for the outpost, maybe, but, you know, probably not. Let's continue watching. From what I'm watching here, the target went out into space, decided that they weren't going to pay, and now they're going down. They didn't comply with any of the demands or anything like that, so we'll see what happens.
He's doing the space dad roll. There it is. I mean, we're going to get a big portion of this cargo whether he goes full death or not, so.
Okay, let me go.
And the whole A is right behind you already.
Nice, yeah. Well,
what? No, that's not how it works. If the target hard deaths, you're going to lose the majority of the target. 0 to 90% of the cargo, with the average being 40 to 50. Like, these numbers are actually really important to understand. Because what, they only had 231 SCU of gold before they left, right? Well, that's what it said on the scans that we saw last. So, well, if you're looking at 50%, that's 100 boxes, if that. Those pesky pad hoggy tick trading planet ramming griefers. Oh man, you're struggling with A1's videos. This is level cap. This is one of the reasons why we don't do negotiations. Because experience has told us, like, it's a waste of time. Like, we know that there are a lot more targets out there that are willing to negotiate than ever before. But that's only because they know that they're going to lose the encounter. Some of them just don't give a fuck, though. And that's something that, you know, people need to come to terms with.
We'll throw it on the Hull A, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the Hull A is kind of like the ultimate salvage or the looting ship. You just throw it right on the ass side. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's just got gold on board, so it's even easier now. You don't have to, like, worry about getting the wrong stuff. All right. He's hurt bad.
He's rolling. He watched Star Wars.
Is he going directly towards... He's going directly towards Microtech, but he's nowhere close to anything. So he's not going back to an armistice zone. So, okay. Hold fire.
Holding.
Yeah, this guy's full death for sure.
Oh, no.
That's a soft death.
Yeah, because we went a little too heavy on the trigger there.
He won't survive the landing.
I mean, he's got full speed in a C2.
I mean,
he's going to lawn dart so fucking hard, bro. So what I can do is I can try a risky maneuver, but the ship's desinking pretty good. And as I get as he gets close to the ground, I can thruster wash him, and hopefully I can bring his nose up. But
let me try that mystery one.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2.
Oh, yeah, see, that's why we don't do that
idiots.
at this altitude. Yeah, well, that's all.
You don't do it at all.
Well,
Shit.
who wants some gold?
All right. The thruster wash thing, yeah, it was fixed, but even then, you still have to be somewhat aware of it in space. It used to be really bad. It can still happen. It's just you now got to be a screen licker to really make it bloody happen. Normally, it's just you collide with the ship. With what they were trying to do there, though, the ship's fucking soft death. When you put a ship into the soft death state, it's fucking like 2 or 3 hits away from a bloody hard death. It is very rare for a ship to survive a crash landing when it's in the soft death state. It's possible to do it, but you need to make sure that the altitude that the ship's falling at is really, really fucking low. And these guys were just pummeling into this ship. What they would have been better off doing is just easing off on the damage as they're following the target down, and then just wait until they got closer to the ground and see what they do. Because if old mate was going to bloody crash into the ground anyway and try and pull as many of the pirates with them, they would have done it anyway. Yeah, well, that's the other thing there, Blue. Bloody, you need a larger ship to be able to fucking pull that off anyway. Bloody, all they did was just make collecting the boxes harder for themselves. Because what, that's 6 kilometers. There's still 6 kilometers off the ground. They gotta follow all these boxes down. I followed boxes down from like 80 kilometers. It was a pain in the ass.
Very well.
All right, get the hull A down here, and let's transition to recovery.
Here they come.
Is the hull A behind us?
Yep.
Okay, let's transition to recovery.
Where can I buy a mantis?
Watching that wreck come down is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Actually,
pretty
most
cool
of it's
indeed.
still inside the wreck, so that's cool.
Yeah, and it's not that spread out. See, it's about 500 meter spread there, but that's
yeah,
easy.
That's not
just
bad at all.
origin, strafe right.
Believe me, I'm trying.
I just over.
What are you doing, bro? Okay, just turn the engines off. Turn your engines off. Turn your fucking engines
There
off.
we go.
Wind.
It's so buggy.
So the first pirate catch of the day was a pretty big success. We got a ton of gold, not quite as much as we would have had the C2 not been destroyed in the process, but nonetheless we get away with a pretty darn big take there. A lot of profit to be had all around. And the next catch that we get
Well, how
seems to be
much?
going similarly, but there's an extra.
Don't fucking sit there and say, yeah, we got a lot of credits from it, and then not fucking show it. Like, 38 million. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. This is target number 1. They got the 37 million off the first target.
Extra hiccup along the way.
Is he
We have to
landed?
put- Nah, he's not landed. He's
Like, what is
floating over the
happening?
facility.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
we-
go straight to soft death.
Okay, so shoot him.
Okay,
There are pilots
Yeah,
out of the
absolutely.
chair.
Everybody open
Shoot
up
him.
on him. Straight
They're
to soft
probably
death.
alt
Soft death, not
F4.
full death. Like when his shields are down, he's red. Like just gentle.
yeah,
He's
try
trying
to
to log
open the
out.
back as well.
He's trying to log out on the edge of Armistice.
Kill
Yeah,
him
he's trying
gently.
to do that.
He's got turrets.
Guys, listen up. Get the back door open by shooting the
Just-
back door.
Just slowly, softly, guys.
Very
Watch out,
gently,
because-
yeah.
Okay.
Alright, listen to the comms that's going on right now. You can tell the difference between a group that has actually done piracy more than for 5 fucking minutes because they don't have to talk as much. They're not getting coached through the encounter. You know, and you can hear it, there's like 2 different people giving commands there as well. And yeah, the target has gotten out of the chair and he's trying to bedlog. The thing is, though, is like they would have punched out the armistice zone, jumped out of the pilot's chair, started running back for the thing. As long as somebody hits them, either hits the shields with lethal weapons, or you just target lock it with a missile. Like target lock with a missile is the easiest way to do it. You can be further away. You'll stop the target from being able to bedlog. But yeah, like with the amount of coaching that's going on, it's like fucking these guys haven't had enough experience yet dealing with targets like this, where they're like, oh, this is what we do, and everybody just does it. So they're all sitting there fucking talking over each other. And this is one of the reasons why you can take advantage of having, you know, of going up against inexperienced pirates. If you have escorts and you're smart about it, you don't position your escorts with the ship that you're trying to defend. You position them away outside of detection range and you have them wait. And if they get attacked, buddy, you wait until the pirates are focused on the target and you have your whoever's being targeted, you have them try and delay as much as they can, and then you have your escorts pop in from behind, move in nice and slowly, find the QED and pop that first. Pop the QED, and then take out the rest of the threats. Pretty much priority goes to QEDs first, and then take out the most threatening ships after that. And even with the QEDs that you're popping, if it's a Mantis, you just need to take an engine off and it's fucked. The thing is, and this is one of the reasons why, like, it's actually, I wouldn't even missile spam, and there's a reason why I won't missile spam to start off with if I was doing a counter-attack on a piracy group. Because they're all target focused. Like, an inexperienced crew like this are all target focused. They're all staring at this one target. No one's going to be looking for the lone ship or the two fighters that come in, from behind, that aren't making any noise, that aren't shooting or anything like that. They can start cycling through those targets and finding the ones that they need to find. Meanwhile, all the pirates are there going, oh, like, target, fixated. They got tunnel vision. Too busy staring at that target because they're bloody hungry for that booty. And then next thing, their Mantis goes pop. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell? As soon as you get that moment, that, instant, I don't know what's going on anymore, things start to fall apart. And this is the difference between an experienced piracy crew and a non-experienced one, where the experienced piracy crew will know, all right, something just popped down Mantis, get the backup. Most pirates run more than one fucking QED anyway. Make sure, like, that the target's still dampened, and whoever else, everybody else start looking for the threats. One other thing that I want to point out, remember how I said when you get tagged or pinned, your radar lock button turns yellow? That's what it looks like right there. That's what the target sees when you fucking pin them. A yellow radar locked tag. Yeah. Let's see how this goes, because the targets tried to bedlog. They obviously weren't able to because the ship's still here. So we'll see what happens.
The door's opening? Okay, back door's opening.
Back door's open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this target is
So you're going to just put the ship
virtual.
inside of it?
That's correct.
Yes.
I'm just going to fly right up into him. Come on, baby. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
So who's going to Havoc server, or should I?
Help.
Oh, it's red now.
Oh,
Oh,
no. It didn't work. My nose got stuck.
All right.
Let's go back. Alright, so this target stopped. It is stationary. They're sitting 3,861 meters above the ground. They're probably not far from the outpost, which is where Avenger 1 would have gotten that fucking Merlin from. Merlin or Archimedes, doesn't matter. You would have been better off getting a Pisces and putting people into a fucking Pisces going through the front door, because the ship is pretty much like vertical. Put them through the front door and have like a couple of guys in the back of the Pisces just come back, get them onto the ramp, they slide into the ship, hit the bloody gravity grid, and then they're fine. Then they can do the boarding action. This here, what Avenger 1's trying to do, is fucking main character syndrome. Alright, if you're the one leading the hit, don't try and be the fucking one that's always got your finger in the fucking pie. Alright, when you're leading the piracy hit, you need to actually have the most hands off from everything. Like, you should be in the back watching, commanding, looking, telling others to do that shit. It sucks because it means that you don't get to do all the cool shit. A lot of the time you don't get to do the shipboardings. You're not there doing the snares. You're not there bloody getting into the dogfighting battles. You help out where you can. but your main job when you're leading a fucking piracy hit is to lead. And you're telling people what to do. Fucking being the main character of the fucking story doesn't help your fucking team. Doesn't help your team at all. Yeah, they could use the cutlass as well. Pisces would be easier to do it with because it's got a smaller profile. But yeah, like if you don't have a Pisces, just use the cutlass. Catch you later, Sorrow. But yeah, if you're the leader, don't fucking be the one pushing yourself in all the time. Like, this didn't help anyone.
Help.
Oh, it's red now.
Oh,
No.
It didn't
Are
work.
we
My
recruiting?
nose got stuck.
Mongrel Squad does
Alright, at this point in the operation,
Mongrel Squad does not recruit directly anymore. If you want to join Mongrel Squad, you need to go through the auxiliaries first. The link for the Mongrel Squad Gilded server is in the description of this video, and I'll also post it into chat right now while I'm here. You'd think I'd have this on a fucking quick bloody select thing, but I don't. So yeah, you go through the auxiliaries first. Did they stop recording because A1 is dead? I think they haven't worked out how to get onto the ship yet. Let's keep watching and find out.
we're going to try and get a player aboard the Hercules to disable the crew and then fly it to a safe location. But we can't get the front doors open, so we can't drop somebody into the ship. So we're going to try and somehow get them in through the rear.
Good,
I think we can level the nose, Mr.
Wait, what did he say? They can't get through the front?
Crew and then
Got stuck.
so we can't drop somebody in to fly it to a safe location. But we can't get the front doors open, so we can't drop somebody into the ship. So we're going to try and somehow get them in through the rear.
Good,
I
good.
think
Because
we
you
can level the nose, Mr. One. Just
Through the rear. Through the rear.
Go back. Well, you guys probably can't see it. Oh no, you can. Right, down here, rightmost MFD that I've got the cursor hovering around. So it looks like they've tried to work on the other shield faces and they didn't get the front shield face down. So either they didn't get the front shield face down or they just didn't hit the fucking front ramp. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they actually try and pull this off. Because they're not getting through the rear ramp. Not at the angle that they're at.
Good,
I think we can level the nose, Mr. One. Just pushing it because he's coupled.
Yeah, I think so as well.
You think you can push his nose down?
Yes.
Yeah.
How's it look?
Okay,
Nice.
we'll try
This
that
might
after.
work.
Yeah, so just try to get the lip. Yeah. No, you can't. You gotta get it on. Oh my God!
There he is.
Did he make it?
What?
Yes!
Somebody did weird stuff.
Yes!
That's fucking
Yes!
insane. Oh,
Yeah, go
God.
to the midsection, Calamity. Go to the midsection. Midsection.
Oh wait, so you found their bodies on there?
Yeah, they took the
Found the one
pills
buddy, yeah.
Oh, man.
for the Empire. Crutch.
For the Empire.
All right, get it up into space.
I can't believe you didn't want to put up a fight. Sad.
11 SCM gold.
This is the guy here.
Why are they still wearing their fucking kit? Is this even dead? Why are they still got their kit on? Even if they're not dead, you'd fucking take their kit off them, put it into the inventory of the ship. That way they're not a threat.
He had some good gear too, man. He's fully loaded with grenades. He would have put up a fight. Now, this piracy operation involved a bunch of technical challenges. The pilot tried to log off as soon as they got out of the armistice zone, but they didn't realize that if we were shooting their ship, it would prevent them from bed logging. So instead, his ship was just floating there in space, and at some point, he just decided to commit suicide.
What the fuck is that? All right, here's a tip. For when you're loading ships, do it by lines. Do it by rows. Do a row, and then just work your way up from one side to the other. Don't fucking move forward. So in this case, you'd be starting on, in a caterpillar, you'd start underneath the catwalk, do under the catwalk, then go out one. Do a row. Then do the next row, and keep going until you get to the roof, and then come out one. And just keep going across like that. The reason why is because you got this dumb shit happening here now. Alright, see this? You got 2 boxes here. You got one on this side. You got one that's missing on the middle. And then you got 2 here. Right, you're going to have a hard time putting any boxes in there. And this is actually to prevent those invisible boxes. Because sometimes what will happen is that if you try and put a box in there, the game desyncs and it puts a box there, but you can't put one there.
Suicide. We managed to get on board the ship through that weird operation, fly it into space, and loot all of this extremely valuable cargo. Now, as we were setting up for our next heist, some of the guys on another server ended up running into another pirate crew, and they were fighting over this same pirate target, and they ended up needing backup, so we had to jump on over and help them out real quick.
Cap, are you on my server?
Yeah, I'm right next to you guys.
Yeah, this Gladius needs to go down.
Okay. Oh, he's firing at you?
I'm good, I'm good. I've avoided the missiles.
Horus and Caterpillar have landed.
Am I going after alien guy?
Yeah, alien.
Yep.
I'll take El Guapo, get and alien.
On it.
I'm coming back in now. Yeah,
Who has a C2 on EU50?
Fuck is that Gladius
He
doing?
just landed.
Yeah, Phenom,
On,
I got Guapo on me here.
Okay.
EU missiles only.
I need an interdictor. Marking.
I got alien hurt bad.
Good.
Anybody have a...
God damn, I got missile hit.
You okay?
It's good, you know.
Got alien.
Got alien. Okay, switch to El Guapo.
Fucking Gladius just died to a Cutlass Red and almost using fucking gimbaled badges.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that guy was talking shit about you.
He's hurt.
Chat.
Nice.
Got him?
Yep.
Yeah, we got him.
Nice, good splash.
Oh, I got missiles
go.
coming in at me?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, me and you. Okay, so and alien's engaging you. That's a lot of missiles.
Oh
Flare,
my
flare,
God.
flare, flare, dude. That's he's using the what's it called? Rattlers.
We just let them get low to the ground and we blast them.
Wait, didn't they kill this guy already? Okay, he's in
Yeah,
an arrow
I'm
now,
applying,
so
I'm applying,
the
I'm applying, I'm applying. Keep turning with him.
Well, there's only been 2 different guys so far, and they called for reinforcements.
Keep turning with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's out. He's out.
Three-star runner up.
No, I got him here. I got him here. Good turn.
Okay.
I'll get him in this next turn for
Okay.
sure.
I'm gonna disengage a little. Oh, he's
I'm
got
on
my
him.
engine. Okay.
Got him.
Nice. Avenger Squadron was able to deal with the rival pirates, and in fact, we caught another C2, this time in a quantum trap. Basically, if you set up a quantum snare between 2 jump points and you know that a cargo
25
ship
AC
is
files coming
moving
back
between
up.
those points, you can actually pull it out of its quantum jump. And that's what happened here. And although I didn't get to witness it being pulled out of quantum travel, I did get to show up and be part of the boarding crew.
I don't either.
Oh, I guess it's just a bad issue then.
Raceful.
Yeah.
He's calling the elevator up.
Raceful.
He called the elevator? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he called the elevator up. So
Calamity
he may come down or
stream.
not.
I want to see.
Yeah.
What's the best spot to be in when he comes out here?
He's not going to come here. He'll stay out there if he's fucking smart.
Let's just see what
Oh,
this
yeah, he
elevator
might not
is.
be able to go.
Right here behind these boxes.
He's on it. He's on it.
Okay, here we go, boys.
Oh, there he is. Why
like
would
he's
you come
just-
to...
is he
Where the
kidding?
fuck is your helmet? You deserve to die.
Oh, he's engaging.
You
Bye-bye.
fucking
He's
deserve
down.
to
He's down.
die.
He's down.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, boys. Good job. Mission accomplished. All right.
If you are ever defending a ship, do not fucking do that. Ever. Don't go down to fight the pirates. Have them come up to fight you. Don't take the elevator down. You're putting yourself into a kill box, and depending on how many pirates there are, you just make it easier. Lastly, where the fuck is your helmet? Nobody wants to see your stupid face. Although, if you're using the fucking VoIP expression FOIP, so face over IP, all they're going to see is the dumbest expression on your face when you get fucking wailed on. It was Jason Bourne. Well, no, this wouldn't be Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne would be fucking waiting up there in EVA and snap their necks when they came out of the fucking elevator. This is like his retarded cousin. Yeah, just wait up top. Wait for them to try and transition out the fucking bloody elevator. And when they start doing 360s fucking all over the place, just wail into them. It's the easiest way. You'll kill the boarding team. Jason Bourne. Yeah, there you go. Jason Bourne. Yeah, like, we train on Hercules that are soft death for this reason. Like, we train going up because we know, or the smartest thing to do is not to fucking leave the elevator, is not to go downstairs to try and fight them. In fact, if you're going to take the elevator and do anything, take the elevator down and go EVA outside the ship. And then you can do something dumb, like go and fucking EVA and break into one of their ships and then fly that off. And you start killing their stuff. Because I had 3 people in the boarding team then. Anyway, let's keep watching. Like, we could sit here and tell, you know, the target how to fucking beat pirates. It's a moot point right now. But yeah, if you're in this position and you need to defend your Hercules, don't fucking take the elevator down to meet the pirates. Let them come up to you. You have a higher chance of winning the fight. Maybe try a grenade while the elevator is going down. Probably stick to your hand or desync back into it.
Let me try to beam him up.
Respect for defending his ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first guy to
so.
actually try and defend today. So I was pirating with Avenger Squadron for most of the day, and we must have raked in millions and millions worth of gold and even some refined quantanium and other resources. There were plenty of catches and usually different outcomes each time. It's really fun to see this gameplay
Go fight the
mechanic
pirates and listen to
evolve,
the
as
script,
before
yeah.
Piracy was more just like role-playing pirates since you couldn't actually take cargo from other ships.
Fucking hate this. Role-playing pirates. Because you couldn't take their cargo. Role-playing pirates and because you couldn't take their cargo. Because you contacted them. Shut up. Shut your shit mouth about that role-playing bullshit. In fact, extortion and ransom is still probably the most cost-effective method of doing piracy right now. Purely because you don't have to move all those stupid boxes. To sit there and say it's roleplay is fucking dumb. And really is just fucking... The way I see it, it's a small-minded way of perceiving how different methods of being able to do piracy. we don't do extortion or ransom at the moment because we want to encourage players to actually start fighting back, to have a higher chance of them going, all right, well, I'm not going to be able to get away scot-free in this encounter, you know, just by paying X amount of credits. I'm going to have to fight these guys. So I will prepare accordingly. Now, most players aren't going to do that. You know, being real, most players aren't going to do that. But just the prospect that pirates aren't going to negotiate and you're going to have to fight your way out of an encounter may be enough to start encouraging players to start using escorts and turret gunners and things like that, contacting security organizations and making arrangements with them so that they, you know, send some guys to do patrols. Something is better than nothing. But to sit there and say that, you know, piracy in the past was all about roleplay is really coming from the small-minded individuals that don't understand the gameplay implications of what, you know, is possible when it comes to playing this game. No, I'm not surprised by that. I'm already well aware, anti-theory, just how many people think that it's worse. Because, yeah, it's about pride for them. They think that, you know, essentially they think that they're being cucked and that their pride's being attacked. They'd rather, you know, die with their pride intact, which it's a fucking video game. They do whatever they want. But making that statement that, you know, piracy was just roleplay before is bullshit. You know, like, these guys are tourists, in my eyes. They're fucking tourists who just showed up. Oh, piracy's, you know, finally possible now. No, it's been possible for years. You guys are just too fucking lazy to actually try. Like, that's the thing, is like, until you got it spoon-fed to you by CIG, you were too fucking lazy to try. And right now, piracy has been simplified to the point that anyone can do it now. There was a time where it required skill and teamwork and effort. Nowadays, it's just fucking, you know, oh, there's a ship there, just shoot it until it fucking goes pop. Alright, we've only got like less than a minute, so let's finish this off.
But now that you can, it's the real deal. Ship-sized tractor beams should add another element to this mechanic and will hopefully allow pirates to drag soft death ships down to planets instead of having to hope they don't explode on impact. The whole process is still certainly rough around the edges, much like the entire rest of the game, but there's still nothing quite like it in any other game that I've played. The rules are falling into place, and the fledgling meta around trading and piracy is starting to paint a picture of what's in store for the future of Star Citizen, especially when lawless systems are added to the game. What do you guys think about Star Citizen in piracy? And next up, check out this extensive mining operation with Salty Mike and his crew, where we basically explore what a large-scale mining operation is like in Star Citizen.
Yeah. Well, soft death was a blessing in disguise in one format, in that we had a new method of being able to disable ships. The problem is that because distortion damage falls under the vehicle experience team, they're not concerned about professions when it comes to gameplay. They're more concerned about mechanics. So using distortion damage to disable a ship mechanically works, but they don't take into account the wider gameplay impacts that, you know, the changes that they make to distortion damage has when it comes to, you know, disabling ships for the purposes of bounty hunting and the purposes of piracy. And there's still other mechanics that need to be introduced. Like that's a huge, you know, thing that we're waiting on. Like physicalized damage, you know, ship armor. That is a key component in my eyes to the, you know, how flight combat will, you know, evolve, how it's supposed to work. Because how can you really sit there and say these weapons do this amount of damage when, you know, a key component to stopping those weapons having an effect on the ship doesn't exist yet? I'll be right back. Family just got home. Alright, I'm back. Where was I? I don't remember. Are there any plans to rework Distortion? We have no idea. Yeah, so we have no idea if they're going to be reworking Distortion damage. We just assume that they are going to do something to it every single patch. And it rarely makes it into the patch notes. They just change it. The guns are balanced? The guns aren't balanced. The guns have been neutralized in terms of stats. That doesn't mean that they're balanced. That's the problem though, is like they've neutralized the stats for the majority of the components. And they started that 2 years ago. We've been waiting on this shit for 2 years. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you meant. Don't think that armor will add that skill that was needed for piracy as before? Well, depends, Anta. Because in order for us to be able to soft death a ship right now, we just pummel as much damage into it, right? Well, when you got armor involved, you will want to shoot the areas that don't have armor so that you can get through to the hull quicker. Do you have thoughts on how you will rob the whole sea? Pull them out of QT? Honestly, yeah, that's probably the only way that we're going to be able to do it. Snare them out of quantum travel. Brick them, and then cry as we have to move all those boxes. Honestly, this is probably where I'd be looking at using distortion damage again. And I'd be like pushing to use ships that have a lot of distortion damage to disable the hull sea so that we can get on board and then move it to wherever the fuck we want it to go. The EMP cycles are pretty technical in comparison. Yeah, well, that came down to timing. Timing and position. The problem that we have with EMP cycles though is that distortion dissipation rate on components is faster than the cycle time for an EMP, which is why it's just easier just to pummel a ship with this direct distortion damage. Yeah, unfortunately we've lost a lot of skill requirement for piracy, and I don't see us getting it back for a long time. Alright guys, we're going to move on to the next bit of content we've been going. That one was for an entire... Sorry. That one was an entire fucking hour. That was sitting there drawing off about piracy. So this next video that we're going to go on to is from Forrester, and he asks the really important question: what is there to do in Star Citizen? So let's find out. It's 5.5 minutes. Maybe he's just asking the question.
You don't have to look too hard to find comments about Star Citizen being incomplete, with no shortage of news covering things that aren't yet in the game. And there's certainly some truth to the fact that Star Citizen is still missing a lot of features. But many of these criticisms sidestep the fact that even in this incomplete state, as at patch 3.19, there is a lot to do in the game already. So, I'm Forrester, and this video will cover a variety of things that you can do in the game at the current time. Oh, and if you're new to Star Citizen, you might want to check out the complete new player's guide first before diving in too deep. So perhaps one of the staple pieces of gameplay in Star Citizen is ship combat. Ordinarily, this involves piloting your spacecraft around a dogfight and blasting away at the guns to destroy your target. This can range from simple engagements against bots to earn some credits, all the way to high-end PvP combat against hardened combat veterans. Since some ships can have multiple players aboard, sometimes ship combat can involve manning a turret, if you prefer your ship combat to feel more Millennium Falcon than X-Wing. But for the situations where fancy flying skills don't cut the mustard, there's also first-person combat, taking your handy rifle, shotgun, pistol, or whatever your weapon of choice might be to clear out targets. It was hard not to say ground combat, because although much of this can be ground combat, it could just as easily include fighting in zero gravity. Oh, and if the idea of suiting up and being on the firing line seems a bit too risky for you, you could always hop into a futuristic space tank instead.
Yeah, but why? Like, that's one of the things, like for the tank, the Nova, it was a cool addition, but why would you use it? Like, no missions require you to use a tank. Do I take suggestions for videos to watch? I do on our Gilded server, which I will link there. There's a specific channel on our Gilded server where people can suggest videos to watch. JT, yeah, you could take it to Jump Town, but you got a high chance of it just getting destroyed. Part of the problem that we've got is that the purpose of using the tank just kind of doesn't exist. You just use it for the, for shits and giggles. And that's the main reason why you do anything in a video game is, for fun. But there's no purpose designed missions where you'd want to use a tank or where you need to use the tank.
Naturally, all this fighting is going to leave some people in need of assistance, and so there is a limited set of tools available to would-be medics to help patch up players and get them back in the action. And for all of those busted up ships floating around the battlefield as space debris, players can hop into their salvage ship and strip away the parts and the hull to sell for a profit. That technology is inspired by the detailed mining gameplay loop, where players can break down a variety of space rocks and take them back to sell them for a profit. That could be using a mining ship, or a ground rover, or even just a little tool carried in your hand. And it can range from being
just a nitpicky thing from a video editing perspective. If you mention something, something that you can do, you should show it. So when he mentioned, ship, and then he went to rover, and then he went to hand mining tool, I was expecting to go, all right, we're going to see the prospector, then we're going to see a rock, and then we're going to see a hand mining tool. But no, he's still on this.
Simple rock cracking exercise to a complicated multi-person operation involving scanning and little gadgets placed on the rocks. But with all these mined and salvaged goods, somebody needs to ferry them around. Cargo gameplay has been in the game for a while, allowing players to buy stuff from point A and ferry it to point B to sell it for a big profit. These are often great big cargo ships, and that can certainly be fun for space truckers. But sometimes, if that investment is too much to buy a big ship, to buy the cargo boxes, there's a couple of alternatives. The first is smaller delivery missions to take contracts to ferry little boxes around the different moons and planets and space stations, which can be a nice way to make a quick buck whilst exploring the sites. Alternatively, there are other ways to acquire cargo to fill up your ship, ways that some consider to be unlawful. Pirate gameplay is in its infancy, but it's now possible to use force or the threat of force to coerce a player to hand over some cargo, or to take it if needs be. Thankfully, actions have consequences, and one such consequence for those who break in-game laws could be doing some hard time in the in-game prison system. Don't worry though, for those who don't fancy doing their time, you could do some jobs around the prison for extra credit, or alternatively just find a way to escape. For the speed demons out there, Star Citizen offers some interesting options for racing, ranging from dedicated racing ships at the cutting edge, all the way down to kart-style buggy racing. And for people who enjoy interacting with other players, there's a dedicated refueling ship to sell fuel to stranded pilots, or you could offer to transport people from A to B as a space taxi service. Or, alternatively, you could put all of those possibilities to one side just to explore the Stanton system, a variety.
Not gonna lie, he's actually doing a really good explanation of everything that you can do in Star Citizen, ignoring that you've got a whole bunch of bugs.
Variety of planets, moons and space stations with caves, lakes, rivers, mountains, all offer interesting destinations for intrepid adventurers who like to see the sights. So, long story short, whilst there's still a lot on the to-do list for Star Citizen, there is already a considerable amount that players can do in the game. I'll be interested to read what you enjoy doing in the game in the video comments. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel and would like YouTube to show you more videos like this, it's probably a good time to press the subscribe button. And if you'd like to give me the prompt to make more videos.
Yeah, that's it. That is literally it. That's a pretty good explanation of what you can do in Star Citizen. I was expecting this to be a bit more what's it called? A bit more philosophical. You know, what is there to do in Star Citizen, as opposed to like this is quite factual. And yeah, it was a really interesting perspective when you look at the, you know, what we've got now. It would have been, I guess it depends on who he's targeting this at, because this is targeted at people who have never played Star Citizen before. What is meaning of Star Citizen? Yeah. The meaning of Star Citizen is to just give out over our hard-earned credits for JPEGs, right? Right? It was an interesting take, because, you know, you look at where we started when 3.0 came out. You had cargo hauling, bounty missions. That was really about it. Like to think that Piracy actually rocks that mustache. He might. Never seen him. Never seen him before in real life. There were a couple of things though. You missed begging in chat for credits, yeah. You did miss something else though. You missed it's not really a widely known thing, but he missed smuggling stuff into prison. The good old smuggling op. You know, breaking into prison to drop Adonite off to convert into merits in the merit trade. What's the thought of removing the global chat? I think it's one of those things where you should be able to mute people. Like that's a basic moderation tool that I think individuals should have. I think the chat systems are going to have to evolve anyway. I think they'll evolve in a way where you have to kind of like listen in on them based on the system that you're in, kind of like how EVE Online works. I think that's something that they really need to look at doing with global chat. Yeah, like, I really don't have much more to comment about that video other than, you know, everything that he put in that video I would agree with. It was actually quite well done. And whilst there are technically little things extra that you can do in that game, like, it really comes down to players taking the initiative to do that sort of stuff. Alright. We're going to move on to the next bit of content here. It's you wonder if server meshing any org would try to get into prison with guns to hold it for themselves. Maybe. Depends if they have dynamic or static server meshing running. I think they're going to have static server meshing running to start off with, which means you're looking at there'll still be multiple instances of prison. They'll just have higher populations. You know, like, anything's possible. I think what would happen is that CIG would have to respond to it and make the AI, you know, behave in a way where they can stop that sort of thing from happening. So if you do try and take guns into prison and the guards catch you with them, you know, you lose your guns and your sentence goes up. Then again, Klesher is supposed to be an automated prison, so you may just get, you know, what's it called, tasered or something like that by the remote turrets there, and then you wake back up and you've lost all your gear and have extra time on your sentence. Inside the fighting inside the prison, well, the armistice zone only extends within the central area. Once you go out into the tunnels, that's it, it's on. You can fight. Eventually CIG is going to change the way that armistice zones work anyway. Alright, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to move on to, as I said before, this is the last bit of content, and it's from a trusted source. You know him, I know him, we all know him. He is the dude of the Void. Okay, Void Dude. Well, that's the thing, Norris. The guards aren't going to be there forever. They'll get rid of the guards eventually. Because Klesher is supposed to be a fully automated prison. Which means technically the inmates kind of run the place. But they haven't got the AI really doing anything there yet. But yeah, as I said before, we're going to be watching Void Dude's latest Star Citizen adventure. Apparently he tried to send a message. I don't know if he managed to get that message out. Let's find out.
When we go to Jump Town in our ludicrous space game,
his audio is really quiet.
we never quite know what to expect.
Oh, there you go. Now it's a good orange.
Sometimes it's peaceful and we're so ready to abuse the conga line, but the maze dispensers unfortunately go on strike.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
I just barely got here and it's not producing. Also love your videos.
What's up, man? Thank you.
And sometimes we get recognized instantly by handsome viewers just like you.
This was actually frustrating for us for a while. We had the same issue where we were getting recognized whenever we were doing Piracy. As soon as we announced that we're Mongrel Squad, people were like, oh my god, I fucking love your videos. Here, take all my credits. I'm like, alright, thanks. Kind of killed the entire scenario. Like, we were happy to encounter fans, but at the same time, it's like, we're looking for someone to pirate, mate. If you want to, you know, we'd probably appreciate it more if you fought back. You know, fight for your cargo, damn you.
Hello?
Is this Mr. Void Dude?
How did you know, bro?
I'm watching your streams, dude.
Oh, hectic, man.
Recognized your voice.
And it should be known that I never harm handsome viewers in the pursuit of holy illicit contrabandy space nose candy profits.
I've got a railgun, bro. I'm gonna go pop his Hello.
Is that you, Voidy?
Maybe.
Why are you shooting shit with my shit, bro?
So your wings I only fired because
sometimes we stalk the snowy tundra of Yellow only to end up brutalizing a CIG developer running a playtest with their team.
Hello.
Sometimes we're the ones who get instantly brutalized.
You know what I would have done? I would have taken that dev's helmet off and then told him to spin up a fucking PTU build. Go test in there. But I'm an asshole.
Sometimes it's not fair because it's not fair. Hot drops you in a prowler for a perfect sneaky entrance, but the savvy maze runners already at the facility know to tilt their constellations.
We're a prawn now. And as you know,
We're a prawn now.
all good prawns have a name. So I decided to call this one District 9.
Okay.
Get to 2 and then slow down quite drastically.
Yeah, we're like slow already.
Oh, that looks dangerously faster.
They're gonna start engaging with us.
I was so scared.
Jump, 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 jump.
Yeah, he is lucky.
Stops.
I happen to know someone who's very eager to get their hands on any product from that site.
I'm down. Oh, I'm up again.
I mean, successful drop at least.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Fucking random body just comes flying at him.
Jumping might show yourself there. Oh my god, that was right there. Middle
middle section.
Teabag the CIG dev?
Got lower gravity on your
Assert
side.
dominance.
Oh, run, bud.
I've got it. Yeah, it's now or never, boys.
Even you, bro. You can do this.
Is there a way to jump up on top of this thing?
Tires, I think. Ooh. I need to try over here, yeah. Here you go.
You're not jumping up in there,
I
mate.
can't get up there that high.
I know.
The angle is atrocious for me.
You need to get on the roof.
Nice drop one.
See if you can take the blister. Then if those doors open.
You kill the CIG dev, you become the dev.
How do I get in?
I don't think that's how it quite works. They may put you at origin, because they can.
Sometimes you arrive ready for absolutely anything, but the facility is completely devoid of life and any free manual labor. Sometimes you run into invisible players and watch on helplessly as your gear gets yoinked by the extra-dimensional entities. Hello? Sometimes there's no one except for pro elite PvP sweaty dogfighter boys who cannot find the arena commander button on the main menu, so it becomes an opportunity for revenge. Yeah, he'll fly away if I hit him once.
Oh, it looks like he might be landing. His gear is down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ransom back to Chris
So
Roberts.
you shot in him, bro. You can easily get him.
Demand. Tell them that you're going to hold them ransom for the Squadron 42 until they tell you when Squadron 42 is coming out.
Be ready.
He's landing, he's landing. Copy landing. No.
No. Oh,
Getting a better position.
Yes.
He's gonna load maze in his arrow.
Nice, get him.
Yeah,
Okay, we're 58 Ks out, we're coming.
Sometimes the pro elite PvP sweaty dogfighter boys disrupt a potential heist by heroically deleting ships on the ground, and we forgot our railgun at home, so we take off our gear ready to reset back at Grimhex. But then a nomad rocks up, so you make your play anyway, but you forgot. You never performed the takedown with a knife, so the Jumptown Noob Suit tourist wakes up to our complete and utter space surprise.
Yeah, some speedy box moving there. Did you guys see that? Right there. Oh no, yeah, he's gone. Oh, this is painful. What are you doing? This is where he's like frantically looking around, trying to work out what the fuck do I do now? How do I get on this ship? Yeah, there you go.
You win this round, Noob Suit. And sometimes we're the ones defending against sneaky opportunists looking to get away with a free haul of maize. Who even acts this way?
Here.
Got him?
One.
But sometimes Jumptown becomes less about the maze and more about sending a message. Let's begin. We're already at our Ludicrous Space Games most ludicrous event, and using advanced stealthy gamer tactics, we can confirm that the maze is indeed flowing and loading into this unsuspecting Drake interplanetary corsair. This is the crucial moment that can make or break any space heist attempt, and it usually comes down to nothing but a bit of CIA level intelligence gathering and a bit of luck. So join in on the fun, handsome viewer, and let's play the first Voidy Vids Maze Heist Jumptown game show. Question number 1. When should Void Dude board the Corsair? Do we A. wait for the ship to fill up, then tactfully eliminate the manual free laborer when we feel the time is right, or B. board the ship right now, hide inside like Nerve did that one time, and hope for the best?
Get on the ship as soon as possible.
It looks like our smooth-brained contestant has chosen option B. Let's see how this plays out. Well done to the viewers at home who chose option B. You win this like and subscribe button, which you can click or tap right now. It appears that no one has noticed our clean entry into the Corsair, so all that's left to do now is wait. And while we wait, let's talk about the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. It's on sale for the next 3 days. Man, am I late to the party or what? In Star Citizen, I like to use the Tobii Eye Tracker to capture amazing in-game footage like you see now, but even if you're not into capturing footage, you can use it to look around your cockpit and get a great sense of spatial awareness. But by far the handiest feature I found is to lock onto targets by simply looking at them and hitting T, which can be genuinely helpful in game. Join the Voidyvids Discord if you have any questions about the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, and if you think you're ready to take the plunge and purchase one for 15% off until July 3rd, be sure to use my code to help support the channel. We've been waiting for quite some time now, and we're ready to blast the owner of the Corsair as soon as they make their move. So for now, it's time for question number 2. Should we A. steal the railgun sitting in the weapon rack, or B. stay laser focused? The captain of the Corsair could board at any moment, and we don't need
should be taking all the guns. This isn't even a question. Good.
Our smooth-brained contestant has opted to steal the railgun because you never know when you might need one, and stealing things from people in a game is fun and cool, but let's be honest, these weapons have all been duped anyway and nothing really matters.
That's right.
We suddenly hear some ship weapon fire hitting the shields. Oh no, all of this waiting could soon be for nothing. So it's time for question number 3. Should we A. evacuate the Corsair, the shit's going to explode, or B. hang tight and use the fire as a distraction to reposition ourselves into the captain's quarters?
Well, it's obvious he's going to go for B, although I would just take off in the ship.
Congratulations, handsome viewers, if you chose B, because we're balls deep into this heist, and running away now would guarantee no mazy profits. I have no idea what those noises were, and I guess we'll never know, but we're going to live in the captain's quarters for probably the rest of our natural-born lives.
Oh my god. Come on. I like how he turned the light off like it was going to matter.
After all this time, it's finally happening. The Mark has entered the pilot's chair and is departing from Yella. What perfect timing for question number 4. Should we A. whip out an epic one-liner and open fire on the poor unsuspecting captain of the Corsair, or B. whip out an epic one-liner and open fire on the poor unsuspecting captain of the Corsair?
Thanks for all the hard work, bro.
Why are you doing it now? No.
Enough games, handsome viewer, we've finally done it. After so many disturbing, horrific, yet strangely viral for a channel of this size failures at Jumptown, we have finally procured a ship full of maize. We just need to make sure that we take every possible precaution to guarantee our success. We space the body so we can't be tracked via death marker. We confirm the amount of maize in the cargo hold. We do a few dead space
Nice little
jumps.
haul.
We're even aware of the
Captain
unavoidable
Helmet
because the
being more
pilot was
funny.
stuck in his chair and we had to
Yes.
kill him. Tier 3 crime stat. We make the totally random and knee-jerk decision to go to HDMS Pinewood on Hurston, which I felt was a great choice because the Commoray just so happened to be down there, so theoretically they shouldn't be able to track me based on my potential bounty. We stashed the ship about 20 kilometers north of Pinewood. And at this time, I believed I was the smartest, edgy pirate lord wannabe maze heisting gigachad among these grim dark and inhospitable stars. What could possibly go wrong? We tactically delete ourselves for a speedy return. And we're in a Corsair now, and as you know, all good ships have a name, so I decided to call this one the FFS Give Me a Break.
He's back in his ship. Oh my god, just get him!
Chris hates us all equally, but some days it feels like he hates me a little bit more than your average Star Citizen enjoyer. I figure the only way they had left to track me was by creating a transport beacon back to their ship, and I make my way back to Grimhex totally mazeless as usual. Oh well, never mind. Except not, oh well, never mind, because like I said before, sometimes Jumptown is not about the maze, it's about sending a message, and this particular crew of savvy maze runners who I have slighted by hijacking and murdering their mate are very much still after my space balls.
We have people.
Lucky for me, however, known friend of the channel and proprietor of the Black Parrot Cartel, Milton, happened to log in as I pondered either surrendering myself to prison or attempting to get out of Grimhex to go clear my crime stat. I pride myself on my channel's content mission, which is always to have an organic in-game goal of making as much fake space money as possible with as little moral integrity as possible. Everything I do is in the name of the almighty Alpha United Earth credit. We're on a Drake Dragonfly now, and as you know, all good ships have a name, so I decided to call this one F*** That Noise. Now it's all about blood and revenge.
This is why it's so important that if you're doing solo piracy, that you store the ship that you pirate close to where your respawn point is. That way you can quickly get back on target. Thing is that that's still the same Corsair. I'm pretty sure they would have sold the fucking cargo. Decouple. Well, what are you doing, Voidy? Turn it off. Why have you got a grenade launcher out? Oh my god. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? That thing's gonna be disabled. Just get off it. What was your plan? You're gonna get rammed. This is where you need a railgun. The fuck is the other guy doing? Where did that corpse come from? This is like one of the most confusing fights. Why are you putting... What are you doing, mate? What? Who the fuck is that? Oh no. Yeah. Just heard engines destroyed. Sending a message. You're gonna die. Oh man.
we're back on another Drake Dragonfly now, and as you know, all good ships have a name again, so I decided to call this one I Don't Know What's Happening Anymore. I guess this is now Battlefield 2953.
This is just where he's finally just stopped giving a fuck. He's like, I don't care now, I'm just gonna do as much damage as I can. He's over it. He's had enough. He's had enough of Star Citizen. Oh, you're gonna lose your railgun. Just hit him! Hit him! The fuck was that? Aim up! Well, that was a good hit. That hurt him. That hurt him. Come on! Stop wasting your bullets! The fuck?
I don't know why railguns in EVA are so tragically unreliable, but what I do know is that I looted some pretty cool red armor, which I guess I'll just use as my thumbnail now. Thank you channel Patreons and channel members for all your support. Your incredible generosity continues to blow me away. Thinking of pledging to this ludicrous space game? Then use one of the referral codes on screen now for a free 5,000 starting credits. If you enjoy my content and are interested in supporting the channel beyond a like and a subscribe, check the links in the description or consider the join button below. It genuinely helps me to continue producing these videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around the verse. Cheers.
Pretty sure he had a railgun at Grim Hex's inventory. Fuck, he's like trying to reverse pick up boxes. Kinda works. There's a buddy there. Oh, this is that PO.
Your wings up. I only fired because the guy inside said that you shot first, so I thought that you were dangerous, bro. I'm so sorry. When
you
we
fucking
go to
liar. You fucking liar. Oh man. Good old Void. Good old Voidy dude. Oh man. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh. Sorry. It's only like 10 AM. It's 10 AM for me, but I've been up for like 4.5 hours. Alright, well, we're pretty much at the end of the stream there, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming along. Yeah. He looks for the worst experiences and makes them funny. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, we know he got a free 400i for it. Well, he sold he was one of the players that sold the most amount of maize. But that doesn't mean that, well, he could have been working with a team and just been the one that got all of that. Have you seen the proposed QED by Brighton? No, I have not. Is this a Spectrum post? Had the most successful jump town out of everyone. Yeah, well, he fucking just lived there and just pulled boxes wherever he could. It's on Spectrum. Yeah, that's the thing, Telva. And it's actually one of the reasons why, like, I haven't put out a bloody Mongrel Squad Piracy video in ages. Like, we've got quite a few videos there of us doing Piracy. One of them's almost done. The problem that I have though is that when I look at all the content that we've got, they're all pretty much the same. Like we find a target, we interdict it, brick it, board it. Sometimes there'll be a fight on the ship, most of the time not. We'll then spend more time transferring boxes than we will actually pirating the target, and then we'll move on and find another one and do the exact same thing again. Sometimes it's you know, we might end up in a bit of a dogfight, but even then, like, the fights are just, to me, they're boring. Like, for me, piracy is getting more and more boring because it's becoming more and more of the same. The simplification of piracy is what I call it, is that piracy is being simplified to the point where anyone can do it and it doesn't require much time and effort to do. A box moving tutorial? Could do one. I've actually been thinking about how we could do tutorials from now on in the future, and one of the things I'm actually considering on doing is focusing on doing tutorials in shorts. So a tutorial doesn't go for more than 60 seconds and it's just hyper focused on one component. Soft death made piracy too easy? Yeah. It removed an element of skill. Do you think we could leak it out to the server that we're around so they get escorts? No, because normally what happens is the targets just leave. They don't stick around. They'll just jump the server. It's easier for them to do that, because they don't want to be in a position where they lose. If we ever do make it, like, if it's known that we're on a server, normally what happens is that all the haulers leave, and then all the security guys just group up and wait, put out a trap for us, we trip the trap, then they just show up and there's just a mass of them, and then it just ends up being this huge dogfight, which, you know, is okay for if you want a dogfight, but if you're looking at doing piracy, you kind of want to just disengage from that fight. And it's like, look, I understand, you know, they want to fight, they want content, I don't blame them for doing that. I'm kind of happy that they're trying to, you know, go for it, but at the same time, you know, we're not there to get into fights, we're there to do piracy. We want the interaction though to be more interesting than what it is. Well, soft death made piracy, it did make it accessible to a bigger group of people. Problem though is that larger group of people are now all sitting there going, yeah, we're pirates. And it's like, okay, well, to a certain degree, yes, you're conducting an act of piracy, but how long do you think you're going to stick with piracy when it becomes harder again? That's why, like, those who were doing piracy before soft death have, you know, like, are kind of sitting here now bored. Because for us, we've been given the accessibility of, you know, profit that we've been looking for, but the effort to gain that reward is nearly non-existent in comparison to what we had to do before. Like, that felt like we earned what we're getting now. If we had to do piracy the way that we used to do it in like 3.16, for me 3.16 was the best patch for distortion damage, hands down. Once it hit 3.17 they fucked it, but 3.16 was the best patch for distortion damage and disabling targets. When they introduced soft death, alongside this cargo refactor, they simplified it so that the reward for doing piracy was, you know, I wouldn't say it's too high, because the amount of people that you need to do piracy effectively and be able to profit, you know, within a reasonable amount of time kind of balances itself out. Like, yes, a solo Cutlass Blue, if the pilot's good enough, can interdict and take down a C2 by themselves, right? But then that's, you know, Cutlass Blue needs to move all those boxes. They're going to need their own cargo ship and all that sort of stuff. So the balancing out comes down to the logistics side of things, where you got to unload those ships. Unload that ship onto your own ship, transport it, you know, protect the cargo so that you don't lose it. And, you know, that can take hours. You need more people. The majority of a piracy hit now is spent moving boxes as opposed to doing the act of piracy. When you're hauling, you're going to bring a friend just for us? Thank you. Pirate the new pirates? We need to come across them first, and 9 times out of 10 you don't even know that they're trying to do pirates. Or trying to do piracy. Nelson, we've actually looked into distortion shutdowns, and it's... a distortion shutdown is just the inverse of using lethal weapons. You just shoot the ship until it's disabled and then it falls to the ground. The reward for mid-tier skilled pirates get the same reward for a high-skilled pirate? Nah, I wouldn't say, I'm not even saying that they're mid-tier. It doesn't take much skill to shoot a ship. Catch you later, Nelson. I think what CIG needs to look at doing is there's pretty much 3 main phases to a piracy hit. So you got finding the target, which is your interdiction, or sorry, you got your interdiction part of a piracy hit, the boarding action, and then the removal of the cargo. So you got 3. Now, when you're dealing with those 3 main components there, interdiction is really quick. Doesn't take long to do. The boarding part can happen really quick. That doesn't take that long to do. You're looking at 5 minutes max. It's the moving of the cargo that's the problem. Yeah, if it didn't take 2 hours to move boxes, I think it would be fine. But then again, like, you know, it may just be the act of how long it takes to move boxes in general that's a problem. Like, larger SCU boxes will help with cargo transfers to a certain point. The highlight is only for 16 SCU boxes. Yeah, and that's the thing there, Blake. Like, when it comes to moving, you know, unloading a full C2, realistically, you want 5 people. Like, it's a lot of effort. A lot of effort for not much, you know, for not much payout. Well, actually, no, for a shit ton of payout. But in comparison to other professions, like cargo haulers, they're going to shit their pants when they realize that, you know, some outposts are going to have to move the cargo and load the ships themselves. They're just going to crack a shit and go, this is bullshit, I don't want to do this anymore. One rogue box and this C2 explodes. Normally, if it's colliding with a ramp, it goes really quick. Reading a ship to board is way too easy. Yeah, it's that soft death thing. Like, if distortion damage disabled self-destruct, I would be pushing more to use distortion damage still. Even if it's just direct distortion damage, like EMPs, unfortunately, in the current iteration, just don't make sense with how much you need to put down. In fact, I have a calculator that helps me work out how, which EMP ship would be the best to use to be able to disable certain size components. The meta would move away from the Warlock and we'd all be using Hawks. Because a Hawk puts out enough distortion damage quickly enough that we can actually do EMP or keep up the amount of EMP damage going onto a target ship enough that we can actually overwhelm it with distortion damage. The problem is that you need like 6 of them to be able to do it. Somebody should make a business around unloading and loading services. Honestly, I think we'll start seeing that sort of thing when we get the larger cargo boxes. Like, we have the pack rats in the Mongrel Corps who, we try to sell ships to, but they're never around to buy them. They need to grow. Like, it's just having other, being able to unload a ship onto another group. Like, the thing about this is like, it's not impossible to pull off the numbers that Avenger 1 makes claims to with his piracy video. It's not impossible to do it. I find it highly unlikely that they did it. But if you've got the right sort of logistics chain set up, because that's the main thing that's going to slow you down, is the unloading and loading of the cargo. If you got the logistics chain set up right, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to pirate, 12 plus ships in a day, especially in the current iteration of cargo trading. The problem is, though, is that the majority of players don't want to be spending their time moving boxes because it takes a long time. Like, unloading a C2, normally, we're using Caterpillars now because it's just easier to do. You can pretty much have 4 people, or correction, 3 people in a Caterpillar just pulling boxes. 4 if you've got enough people. Normally we're only using 3. We'll keep somebody in Overwatch. Yeah, that's a possible solution as well, John. And we've made, like, over the years, I've made plenty of suggestions, and that's probably what I'll end up doing in the next State of Piracy post. Like, I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to even put out any videos for the 3.19 patch. I probably will. I just need to find the time and motivation, both at the same time, to do it. One time we hit a herc and watched loading and unloading, and while loading and unloading watched 3 ships load up with barrel that we could not hit because all our resources were moving boxes. Yeah, man. That's why, like, the SRV would help out a lot. Like, just being able to brick a ship, pull it to a centralized location, just leave it there. Just put all the ships there and just have, a crew that's just constantly cross-loading boxes. But that's the thing, is, like, not everybody wants to do that. That's why Mongrel Squad, and it's why I created the Mongrel Corps. So Mongrel Corps is Mongrel Squad's self-run alliance. We have the Mongrel Auxiliaries, which are our casual piracy sister organization. So if you're looking to join Mongrel Squad, you have to go through the auxiliaries. But if you're just looking at dabbling in a bit of piracy, giving it a go, not sure, if it's something that you want to do, or just want to, have a bit of a piracy experience, go join the auxiliaries. Give them a go. We don't do like try before you buy a Mongrel Squad or anything like that, because we put a lot of time and effort into the way that we train, into the way that we hunt targets, and for us it's one of those situations where it's like we expect you to be able to do certain things when you show up, and then we build on that experience. The auxiliaries are, you know, like you can come in brand spanking new to the game and they'll be teaching you, and you'll be learning, and you'll be playing with other people who are also of the casual mindset and also learning. And then we've got our logistics organizations. So we've got the Stellar Pack Rat Logistics, which are our lawful logistics organization. They engage in mining, salvaging, cargo hauling, medical services, refueling, whatever they're feeling at the time. They're still growing and building up their capabilities. They're starting to get there. And then the Merex Cartel, which is mainly focused on the unlawful side of logistics, so smuggling and the merit trade. John, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. What is the time per week on average for members of Mongrel Squad? Are you talking about playtime? When are people most frequently on? Because we're an international piracy organization, so in Mongrel Squad we've got ops happening every single day. How much time do they put in on average in the game? Minimum 2 to 3 per week, but we also run multiple ops. So, you know, like that could be anywhere between 6 to 9. Some of them even, you know, put 20 plus hours. It's a lot. If you're looking at averages, you know, I'd say 3. 3 would be the average. Minimum time, so we have a minimum amount of events that a prospect should be showing up for. So that's 1 per week. Now that's the minimum. You got to be damn good to be showing up for 1 event per week and be able to make it through to a mongrel. Normally, most prospects will end up trying to show up for 2 to 3 events per week, and each event goes roughly, you know, 3 to 4 hours. Most of the active members though, like they will show up, you know, at least once a week for an event, and those events will go for 3 to 4 hours. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time to call it. My throat's starting to get a bit itchy now. I've probably got a tickle in the back of my throat still from last week's flu. So I'm almost over it, just a residual tickle at the back of the throat. I'm going to make a little bit of an announcement. It's something that I've been thinking about for ages, and I've wanted to do it for a while. Part of the problem that I had was I had done some testing with my gaming PC, and to see if I could stream Star Citizen gameplay just on the one PC setup. And yeah, Star Citizen is still too resource intensive for what was it? 5800 X3D CPU and 3080 NVIDIA GPU. Star Citizen is too intensive. I could drop the stream quality down to 720p, but I'm not that really that interested in doing 720p streaming. I'd rather try and keep it as close to 1080-60. So for me, my old streaming PC had died a while back. Wasn't 100% sure what caused it, but I had enough parts laying around to get another one almost up and running. I just needed to get a new CPU for it, which should arrive sometime today. So over the next week, I'll be doing some streaming tests and I'll be feeling like, how much RAM? 32 gigabytes. Yeah, I don't have the 12 gigabyte version there, Miro. Yeah. That said, I also prefer using a dual PC setup for streaming. So it's almost done. Just waiting on the CPU to arrive. And I'll be looking at streaming again. Still haven't decided if I'm going to go back to Twitch or not for streaming. I need to look into their conditions for streaming on multiple platforms. I don't really care about the money side of things. It's just the main reason why I'm going to be doing streaming is to do another recruitment push for Mongrel Squad. Full contracts to that new PC. I mainly want to do a recruitment push for Mongrel Squad and the Mongrel Corps. So what's probably going to happen when I do go back to doing the streaming of gameplay is I won't only be doing Piracy. I will be looking at trying to do a bit of prison smuggling, a bit of cargo hauling and salvaging and all that sort of stuff, and actually running with the other sister orgs within the Mongrel Corps. The VOD saving and edit tools are the best part of Twitch, yeah. If you do have the, if you set it up right, you can actually, you know, just cut it all together from Twitch and then port it over to YouTube as standalone videos, which I used to do in the past. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at doing. So over the next week I will be doing some streaming tests, and then I'm going to go back to doing streams so that I can promote the other piracy organizations. Where am I? My time zone? I am in Australia. GMT plus 10, or UTC plus 10 is the time zone that I live in. But my gameplay times, like today is a day off for me from work, so my gameplay times will probably be in roughly, usual gameplay times will be roughly 12 hours from now. It will be closer to 10 hours from now. That said though, I can, you know, depending if I've got a day off of work or not, I can move my playtimes around. But yeah, I'm going to be looking into Twitch streaming, and I may end up streaming through YouTube as well, which is another reason why I want to look into, another reason why I'm probably considering the dual PC streaming setup. And maybe even Kick, who knows. But I figured I'd throw that out there for all of you now so that you're aware of it. Whether or not I keep doing the reactions and rant streams is another thing. It's done, as much as I like this therapy, the fact of the matter is that the amount of content to react to for Star Citizen is reducing a lot. It's falling by the wayside. I could expand to other bits of content, but I'm not really that interested in that. But the other side of it is that it's also starting to become a lot more repetitive as well. It's more or less just somebody, you know, having a complaint about something to do with piracy, and then me pretty much destructuring their entire argument and explaining why they're wrong. And a lot of the time it's just repeats of stuff that I've already said in the past. This is the 45th episode as well, so we've been doing this for nearly a year. Pirate only fans. If I do anything like that, it'd be I'd get an AI to bloody generate the content. Yeah, it's a bit like beating a dead dog now. That all said though, you know, I'll keep it going if you guys are still interested. Most of you probably have noticed, maybe not, but the Mongrel Corps has pretty much fallen by the wayside, and it's primarily because I just haven't been able to think of content that is worthy of being put into a podcast format that doesn't come across as us just having to whinge about Star Citizen, because that's what it ends up being. Piracy's not in game until we get peg legs. What about space parrots? We need space parrots. Anyway, I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you very much for coming along. Really appreciate everybody showing up for the stream. Keep an eye out on Mongrel Squad's Twitter and even in the community posts here. I haven't decided which channel I'm going to be streaming on as well. So it could be on my personal YouTube channel, or it could be here on Mongrel Squad YouTube channel. May depend on the content. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much. I'll catch you all next time.